current state of my hair. My roots are really overgrown. I had some Punky color product in my hair prior to this. This is probably a little over a month old. The only non-Punky color product I have in my hair at this point is some Pravana neon green at my ends. So I went ahead and bleached my roots. I would recommend getting this done by a professional. You're going to get a lot better results and you're not going to miss any spots. And if you decide to do it yourself, just make sure to do an allergy test and do a test strand on your hair so you don't fry your hair off and you don't wind up with your scalp all red and having to go to the hospital or something. And this is about the level that I lifted it. If I was going pastels, I'd want it just a hair lighter or maybe a little toned. Now I'm gloving up. I got some latex-free gloves because latex irritates my skin. And I use a bandana and I tie it around the back of my neck to avoid getting a bunch of dye on my neck. And I'm just going to be sectioning off my hair. It's great to work in sections. You get a lot better coverage that way. The thinner the piece that you start with, the better coverage that you're going to get on your hair. I'm starting from the bottom and I'm going to work my way up. I'm taking some of that Punky color midnight blue, and that's what I'm starting at the base of my roots. I'm using a mirror so I can see the back of my head. So you just kind of look into the mirror that you're holding in your hand and face it towards your opposite mirror and just try to get as best of a coat as you can. It's really tricky trying to figure out how to do this the first couple times because, you know, when you're looking in the mirror, you're trying to move your hand right, but it looks like it's going left. It takes a little bit of practice. One trick that I do too is sometimes I'll put my hand on the back of my head to feel where I've sectioned off and where I want to start, and then I can meet it with the tint brush. It's a really great trick to kind of get a sense of where your brush is going to land when you are first trying this technique. And then as I'm going down each strand, after I add the midnight blue, then I'm switching my tint brush to a different one and I'm applying the Punky color turquoise. Then the next color that I start to blend into there is the alpine green, and then I move on to the Punky color spring green. This video wasn't sponsored by Punky color, but I did win a contest and got some free product from them, which I used in this video. And it's also just a brand that I really like a lot. I've been using it in my hair for years, and my favorite thing is that since I'm so busy all the time, I don't have to constantly touch up my hair when I use their products, and it doesn't fade to really ugly colors in my hair. The blues don't turn that swampy sea hag green. They turn like this nice, like soft pastel blue. And the same with their greens. You don't get that weird olive kind of nasty color. It fades nice and minty. And that's why I swear by this product. It might be a bit of a bathtub stainer and my hands are a little blue, but for me, it's totally worth not having to get my hair touched up all the time. So I'm working my way through all the sections on the back of my head, just repeating the same process over and over again. Just starting with the midnight blue, working my way down to the turquoise, then to the alpine green, and then the spring green. And a lot of times you'll see me going and mixing it in with my hands. It's a real great way to make sure that you're saturating every strand of hair, which is going to give you a more uniform look to your hair. Another thing I really like about this product is it is cruelty-free and it's also vegan. Even if you're not vegan, it's still great to choose a product that was not tested on any animals and nothing was harmed in order to make you cute. And they've been one of the OG crazy colors that is cruelty-free and vegan. So I really like that about them, that's been a long-standing value of theirs. Now I'm going to be working through the third section of my hair, so kind of at the crown of my head. I'm just letting some of that down. It's okay if it touches the damp spot. If you were working with a whole bunch of different rainbow colors and doing different sections, different colors, you would want to foil it up or put some sort of a divider in between in order to section it off. But it doesn't really matter if the blue gets on it because I'm dyeing all the sections that are laying on top blue anyways. And I chose colors that are pretty close on the color wheel. So I'm working with the benefit that if I wind up getting a little blue into some of the green sections of my hair, it's not going to be very noticeable. So I'm getting all my root coverage down. I'm laying down all that punky color midnight blue. Then I'm working my way down to the teal and the alpine green, blending it real good with my fingers. And then the final color that I'm adding is the punky color spring green. My only complaint I have with punky color is I really wish that they made neons. I really like the Pravana neon green. It's super vivid. I've used the Manic Panic electric lizard before, and it's just like this bright highlighter color that I really like. And the punky color spring green is very bright, and it's a very pretty shade, and it fades well, but it's just not quite as, it doesn't just look like you just opened up a highlighter and put it in your hair, and that's like one of my favorite shades of green. So you're watching this punky color and you're thinking about making new products, I would absolutely buy several jars of a highlighter green if you ever offered it. Now at the top of this section, I did something a little different towards the root. I did a thin little strip of just the turquoise. Sometimes I do that here and there in between sections, just so that it gives it a little bit of dimension and highlight. I'm not a professional hairdresser by any means, so I'm kind of cautious with some of these techniques because sometimes I've tried doing different colors in different sections, and sometimes the way that it lays looks really cool and gives my hair a lot of depth, and then other times I've tried it and I've been like, wow, this looks like when I used to dye my hair in high school and I had no idea what I was doing. So that's one of the big reasons I stick to the ombre too, is it's kind of foolproof as far as placement goes, and it looks good, and it's easy to maintain. And each time when I'm really rubbing all that color into my hair, you'll see where I take like a wet wipe and I just kind of wipe off my gloves so I don't have any of the previous color from when I was applying it to my hair, so my hands are clean when I'm doing that. That way I'm not taking that really dark blue from my roots and blending it into this light green that I have on my ends. Now I'm working around the sections that are around the crown of my head and along the sides. And I'm just working in thin little sections. Since this part is the closest part towards my face, it's the part that's always where I want the color to be the most saturated and make sure I don't miss any spots, because I'm the one that has to look at it, and if I mess up the back of my head, I'm a little bit less fickle than if there's a big spot missing in the front of my head. And I'm just working from the bottom and working my way up. I'm starting the color just like I did with the back, starting with the root color first and working my way down. I've seen where some people dye their hair and they go ahead and they apply all the root color but nothing on the ends, and then they go through again a second time and then work in all the end color. I haven't tried this technique personally, but I'd be curious to see how it works. If I get better coverage that way or if it's easier to apply. And if you're one of those people that's really uppity about getting dye on your forehead or on your neck or on your ears, you can put like baby oil or Vaseline around your ears and on your skin. I just kind of expect to come out of this looking like a Smurf, so I skip that step. But if you're fickle about it, that's a great tip on how to not have, you know, your ears blue after you dye your hair. This is about the halfway point of the top portion, like right around the front of my hair. And then once I get to the other side, I'm going to start again at the bottom of this side of my head and then work my way up to the top. You'll kind of see in a moment how I section it off. Really saturating that color, working it through with my fingers, making sure everything's good to go. Now I'm sectioning off this last portion of my hair. And then before I was using a clip, but I don't do that at the very last part because I don't want it to stamp any color on my hair, because your hair is going to lay a little bit different when it's parted off to the side and asymmetrical. If I just lay it flat like that, it's really not getting too much color on it just from sitting there. Can't really see unless you're looking in the mirror, but I'm doing the same color layout. I'm starting with the midnight blue, working my way down to the turquoise, then to the alpine green, and then finally I'm working my way down to the spring green on the ends. I'm using a different tint brush for every color. It definitely keeps the colors from getting muddied or anything like that, or the colors just from not looking evenly saturated. I also feel like I should have mentioned towards the beginning of the video, but you might notice the shirt that I'm wearing. You definitely want to have a specific hair dye shirt. I even have a special hair dye sports bra, because when you're trying to peel all that clothing off, if you're wearing something cute underneath, you're definitely going to get dye on it. And then I usually just wear like black leggings or shorts while I'm dyeing my hair. Half the time I don't wind up getting dye on that, but it's helpful just to be cautious. And putting a bath mat underneath your feet is helpful. I also lay down one of my black towels on the countertop to try and keep myself from getting too much hair dye on my countertop, but sorry, landlord, I ruined the bathtub and the sink. Rubbing alcohol or bleach usually helps scrub some of it off. I'm kind of not the best person about upkeeping it, but those are good tips for if you do get bleach or if you do get hair dye on your countertops and you want to try to remove it. All right, now I got my hair all saturated, and now I'm just using a wet wipe to try to get some of the dye off my face. Like I said before, it is a good idea to use Vaseline or baby oil to keep it from staining your skin, but I just don't do that. I just decide to be Smurfy. And then you can tie your hair back. I usually don't like to do that, so I just kind of twist it into a pile, and since it's all goopy and covered in dye, it usually stays put. And I'm gonna let this sit in my hair for about an hour. You could do 30 minutes, but I like to let it sit a long time. And this is what my hair color looks like. I got a nice even color all over. I just can't say enough good things about this product. It is my favorite blue dye, and it has been since I was about 16, and I'm 35 now. So thanks for watching my channel, and if you like my videos, make sure to comment and subscribe to my channel.